Hey everyone, welcome to Purling Through Life. My name is Melissa and I'm coming to you from the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. I hope everyone is doing well. This is my channel and it's all about knitting and crochet and yarn, and it has been a minute since I've done a video. I believe my last video was 3 weeks ago, but I did say in my last video that during the month of August I would have a hard time doing weekly videos. So if you're new here, I appreciate you stopping by, but I normally do videos every Tuesday, but life in August got very busy, so I said that I wouldn't be able to do a video every week, but I thought it was going to be every other week, but it ended up being 3 weeks, possibly 4 weeks. I'd have to go back and look, and that's due to me getting a cold. My husband and I both got a cold. I'm still recovering a little bit, so if I sound a little stuffy, I apologize, but at least I don't have a cough anymore and I have more energy. I do not have COVID. I did take a test for COVID, so it wasn't that, so that's good. But I'm back today on a Wednesday because yesterday being Tuesday, I just wasn't able to do a video, so I'm here today. And today it's an update video, and I like to show my finished objects, works in progress, and yarn. And I have all of those things. I have 3 finished objects, and how many works in progress? I have to count. It's almost like it's going to be a whip parade, but it isn't. It's just I have a lot of works in progress, and over the past 3 to 4 weeks, I've worked on a lot of things. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 10. 3 of those are blankets, which I'm not sure that I'm going to show. And then I do have some newer cast-ons from some mystery knit-alongs that are happening this week that I'll tell you about, but I'm not going to show them because one started yesterday, and so I have barely anything done. And then there's another one that started today, which I haven't even started. I haven't even wound up the yarn yet, so I actually can't show you anything on that, but I will show you the yarn that I did buy for that. So I think that's everything. I'm out of practice, out of sorts. I'm not sure. I hope I said everything. My name's Melissa. This is a knit and crochet channel, and I like to show my works in progress, finished objects, and yarn. So let's get started with my finished objects. I have 3. 2 are crocheted and 1 is knitted. So we'll start with the knitted one first, and they are a pair of socks. Here they are, and the last time I did a video, I had one of these socks done, but now they are both done. Here they are, and these are just vanilla socks, and I knit my socks cuff down, and I use magic loop on a 2.25 millimeter needle. I cast on 64 stitches and do a 2x2 rib for 15 rounds. I like a shorty sock, so that is about 20 rounds. And I did something different for the heel. If you follow my channel at all, you know I normally do an afterthought heel, but I did a heel flap and gusset. And then I think after that, after I get done with the gusset, I do like another, I think it was 50 odd rows for the rest of the foot before I do the decreases. And it's just a regular decrease, or just regular toe. I think it's a wedge toe. It's just with a Kitchener stitch, but they're done, and I love these. So let's see, the yarn I used for these is from Gems Luxe Fibers. I have so much stuff on my desk here. So here's what I have left. So I did, these are fingering weight socks, and this is fingering weight yarn, and this main one here is on their Luxe sock base, and here's their label, Gems Luxe Fibers, and this is in the colorway Venomous. It is 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon, and there are 463 yards. And let me see, I got a new scale off of Amazon. It was $10. I'm always curious, how much do I have left of the main? Ooh, I have 57 grams. So I could do another, and this was 100 grams, so I could definitely do another pair of socks with that right there. So that's 57 grams. And then this mini here is also by Gems Luxe Fiber, but this was, it didn't come with the socks, although they do match well. This, I bought this in a mini set. I think it came with like 6 at a separate time, and I just noticed that they went well. But it's the same base. It's just 93 yards for 20 grams. And let me see how much I have of this. Oh, 15 grams. Because I just did the cuff. A lot of times I normally just do the heel. But because I was going to do the heel flap and gusset, I thought I would just, I didn't really want to do that. I didn't want to do the heel in the contrast color because I still have to look up all the numbers for this, how to do the heel. So I just wanted it to be easy. So I just did the cuff. I think that is it. Yes, that is it for that. And then, like I said, my next two are crocheted, and they are hats because I'm starting to think about doing donations. Yeah, I want to do some donations, so I am doing some hats. I have a few done that I've shown on previous videos, but these are the latest two. And the first one, let me see, I gotta remember which is which because it's a little bit, I'm gonna have to, I think this is right. This one here, this one is the Crochet Even Mixed Loop Hat from Daisy Farm Crafts. Yes, that's right. From Daisy Farm Crafts, and this was I used the YouTube tutorial, but I think there is a pattern, a free pattern, and I'll link all of that below. Sorry, these fibers make my nose itch. Sorry. So there's the hat. So I was looking for crochet hats with a folded up brim. I just think that looks good. And I didn't put a pom-pom on it. And let me see. Yeah, that's the right side. And I like this hat a lot because, so this was knit flat, and then you seamed it up the back. And here is the back, and you really can't, I have not washed this or anything. So that's where the seam is. But if it's washed or that, you wouldn't even be able to tell it's there. That just is a little bit pronounced more pronounced because I think because it hasn't been washed or whatever. So there's the hat. I just love it. I do want to, I intend to give this away or put it in the donation bin. But if one of my kids wants this hat, I will let them have it because it came out really nice and it was super fun. I love crochet hats. I do. So there is the hat, and I used I think a 6mm hook, and this is the yarn that I used. Well, this is 2 skeins of this yarn. This is the second skein, so I only needed a very tiny bit of the second skein. And I don't even know if I have this label. I don't think I do. I have it for the other hat because I crocheted both hats with the same yarn, just different colors. But this is the yarn that I used. It's the Special Stylecraft Special Aran, and it is 100% acrylic. And it's a number 4 weight yarn, and there are how many yards? I can't see it on here. I'm sure it's 100 grams. Yeah, 100 grams right there. But I don't know how many. I don't know how many meters or yards there are. And this color is denim. So this is so soft. I love. Oh, look. There's the label right there. The yarn is so soft. I wish that you could buy this in the store, but you can order it from Wool Warehouse, I think. It's so soft. It's really soft, and I love that hat. And I think it would look really good with a pom-pom on it. Like I said, because I intend to donate it, I didn't put a pom-pom on it. So, but if one of my kids says they want it, I'll let them have it, and I'll put a pom-pom on it if they want, because I thought like a white one would look really good. So there is that finished object. And then my last finished object is this hat, and this one came out a little bit smaller. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. It's another hat with a folded over brim, and this is the Country Cottage beanie by the Turtle Trunk, and it was another YouTube tutorial. I think there was a free pattern as well, and I'll link that all down below. So it came out a bit smaller. I did use a smaller hook on this hat. I used a 5.5 millimeter hook. It still fits pretty good. I think that it would do better for like a teenager maybe, or just somebody with a smaller head. But it's like, it still fits me. I'm not gonna put it on, but like this one, there's a lot more room in it, you know. So there is that one. Everything is, the yarn is the same. This only took one ball of yarn, and this is what I had left, just this bit right here. And this colorway is plum, but it is the same Stylecraft, Special Aran, the same yarn. So soft. I love this yarn. So there are my hats and my socks, and those are my finished objects. So now we have to get on to works in progress, and I have a lot. And it's mainly because it's been so long, and I like to work on a lot of different projects. I have a hard time just working on one thing, staying focused on one thing. I get kind of bored and a little bit restless to do something else. So yes, so on to the works in progress. And like I said, well, I'm going to show you, let me make sure I said it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know how many I told you. Yes, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 works in progress, and they're all knit. Well, one of them is crocheted, and the rest are knitting. So I will leave the crocheted one to last, because that's actually last on my list. So socks, I have 2 socks going. So I'll show you those first. Let's dig them out here. Here we go. So the first one is living in this bag. This is a Teague bag. I've been using this bag lately for my socks. And in this is socks, obviously. But this is the Hermione Everyday Socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And here is my progress on the first sock. Here we go. Not sure how to really show it. Looks funny. Looks funny. So here we go. So I'm just following the pattern as it says, and I'm actually doing a heel flap and gusset. Well, that's not true. Their heel flap is a bit different than this slip. This is just a slip stitch. Theirs is called the I can't remember what it's called, the Eye of Partridge or something. It's a little bit different, and I was doing it, I was like, no. And so I just went ahead and just did this slip stitch heel. Yeah. So I have finished with the gusset. It's all the decreases are done. So now I'm back to the original count, and I'm just working on the foot now. But here it is. Here's the front of it. I just wanted to do, I just thought this sock yarn would look good with a little bit of a pattern, and I think it's coming out. It's coming out okay. So I'm knitting these cuff down. I am doing magic loop on a 2.25 needle. I did cast on 64 stitches, and I did a 2x2 rib for 15 rounds probably. asks you to do 20 rounds, but I like to just do 15. I think that's enough for me. So there it is. And here's the yarn. And this yarn is Superba Vintage. That's the label. And it is 100 grams, 420 meters. I'll show you. 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide. So it's not superwash merino like a lot of the other sock yarns. So it's not as soft. But it's still really nice to work with. And it still has, you know, it's got a bit of stretch, so that's good. So there it is. I don't know. I don't think there's a color. There, I don't know. I don't see it on here. I think it's just a color number. But there, so that is the first pair of socks that I'm working on, and it's the first sock of this pair. So there we go. There is that one. And then I have one more sock whip, and that's because, well, I started another one. I don't know where I put everything. I started another one because I thought, well, it's September, so I want to do Halloween socks. I think I actually started these, so what is today? September 4th, so I probably started these end of August. But it's getting close to Halloween, so I thought I'd get some Halloween socks done so that I can wear them during Halloween. And they're living in this bag here, Halloween bag, obviously. And this is from Frog Peak Creations. I don't think they make bags anymore. And this is another vanilla sock, and this is by Freckled Whimsy. It's a Halloween colorway from last year, and here is the first sock. Look at that! Oh, I love it. So it's going to be very similar. It's on a 2.25 millimeter needle magic loop. And like I said, 2x2 rib for 15 rounds. And I believe, because this is self-striping, I will go back and do an afterthought heel. I think I haven't put so I put that stitch marker in because that's the first row of knitting after I'm done with the ribbing. And then I think I counted that 20 rows would be about here. So that's kind of perfect. I just haven't placed it yet. I haven't put anything in to mark it where I'm going to put the heel, but it'll probably be right there. I'll do the afterthought heel because I don't want to mess up the stripes. I think that you can still do it with the heel flap and gusset and not mess up the stripes, but it's okay. I don't mind either heel. The socks, the afterthought heel or the heel flap and gusset, it fits my foot fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't wear my socks I wear them in the house. I don't really wear them in shoes. I might wear them in like my Birkenstocks or whatever, but I really don't, like if I'm going out and I'm wearing sneakers or something, I never do wear socks, or hand knit socks. I'll wear like those, I don't know, I don't know what they're called. I'll wear the kind that you can't see them. No, yeah. Just cover your foot. That's what I wear, and they're super thin. So I guess if I wore them in a sock, maybe the heel would matter, but either doesn't bother me. So there we go. So here is the yarn that I'm working from. Look at that. And it's Freckled Whimsy. And I got this last year. Here's their label. And this is called Too Cute to Spook. And it is an 8-stripe repeat. It's 460 yards, 100 grams, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And there it is. And one of the colors, so this is black here, and this one here looks black, but it's actually, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just a super, super dark purple. So this is the first stripe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, and then it repeats. So like there and there, that's actually super dark purple, and then that's a black stripe. There we go. These are, I love these. And then I have one more pair, one more hank of yarn from Freckled Whimsy that's a Halloween colorway that I hope to knit this season as well. So I think that's everything for the socks. I think so. Alrighty. I have to check the time because I am a little bit, it's okay, I'm good. I have to leave to get my granddaughter, so I'm hoping I can get all this done. If not, I will just come back. I'll pause it, or not pause it, I will just shut the video off and do the rest of it later. So the next one I'm going to show you is living in this bag here. This is a Madder Root bag. Here we go, and this is the This or That wrap. It was an MKAL. It has been long finished. I don't even remember when it started. I can't remember, but it's by Ambah O'Brien. And there are 4 clues to the mystery knit along, and I am still on clue 3, although I'm getting there. I'm almost done with clue 3. And let me show you the progress I have made on this. So the MKAL, you could do either a wrap or a shawl, and I opted to do the wrap. And here it is. Here, let me show you I'll show it to you this way. I can back up a little bit. So it started here with that section, and then here we go. And I'll tell you, but it'll stretch because I'm thinking, wow, there's only one more section. I am very close. I think I have 20 more rows of this section, and I'll be finished with section 3. But I'm looking at it thinking, well, this isn't a very big wrap, but when you block it, it's going to stretch like big time. So yeah, so I think that'll make up for it. But here it is. Here it is. I hope you can see good. So the last time I showed this is where I was. So I finished this lace section, and then this is section 3. So this was part of section 2, this lace area. And this is section 3. And section 3 will just be this pattern here. And then section 4 is going to be this right here. A whole entire section of this pattern, just keep, repeating itself, this lace pattern. So that's going to take me a long time because this is just one circle, and I don't know how many there are. There's a lot more, and that section will take me a long time because I will have to put in lifelines for that. But look at that. I love this. I love this. So this is a fingering weight wrap, and I'm using a 3.75 millimeter needle. My Haya Sharps interchangeable needles, which I love. They are my favorites. I do use Chalgu now and again, but I do love the Haya Sharps. So there we go. So the yarn, these 2 yarns here are both, let me get that other yarn out. Let me see. So these 2 yarns right here are by Spun Right Round, and here is the label for that. And they're fingering weight, and One is Car Wash and one is Dream. I can't remember which is which. I'm thinking this is Car Wash and this is Dream, but I don't know. I should look because they probably, I didn't buy these that long ago. And I got them from my LYS, which is Eat.Sleep.Knit. I'm sure they still have some. So those are those two yarns. And then the beige yarn here, this is a Miss Babs yarn, and it is Coastal Fog. Yes. And they're basically the same. Everything is the same except for this has a bit of tinsel in it. Yeah. So those are the 3 yarns that I'm using. So pretty soon I'll be done with both of these. I think I have 20 rows left. I'll have quite a lot of these Tarte skeins by Miss Bab. They're quite large. They're like 500 yards. Is that right? Yeah. They're like, let's see, 122 grams, and they're 500 yards. So they're big, a nice big skein of yarn. So I have a lot of that left. So there is that. I'm getting there. If I tell you, I know, if I could just stop starting new things, I could get something done, but it'll get done. Okay, so there's that one. And then I have another wrap, and it is also living in a Madder Root bag. This bag here. And this is the Sedona Sunset wrap. And it is a free pattern on KnitPicks, the KnitPicks website. And I'm getting close on this too. This is, no, I don't need this. So here we go. This one is getting big. And so it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to show. I could back up a little bit. So here we go. So we started out here. And this end keeps curling. We started here. And it kept going and going. I hope you can see. I can't see what you can see. So there we go. So there is the wrap. It's getting big. And I'm getting very close. I am still on the mid section, but I am on the last. There was 3 repeats of the mid section, and I'm on the last repeat, and then I'll just have to do the decrease section to kind of close it up at the end. It's really hard to show. Maybe if I go like this. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Oh, there we go. And so that stitch marker is, that's where I was. So the last time I showed it, so I've done all of that. And I'm using Chow Goose on this. I think this is a 5mm. Yes, 5mm needle with the yarn. I love the yarn. I have said this plenty of times. I really like this, and I want this. I can't wait to have this and use this. Though I love these colors, and it's gonna get cooler, and it's good. You know, being that I'm in Georgia, we do get cool weather, but it's nice to just, instead of like having a full sweater, it's nice to like have a wrap or a shawl when it gets a little bit chillier at night, and because you can kind of take them on and off. So I will be looking forward to using this. So the yarn for this, here we go. And I think I have, this is the 3rd one. This is an Ice Yarns. Here's their label. And this is 30% wool, 70% acrylic. It's a number 4, and it is 100 grams, 200 meters. And ice yarns, they don't really put, well, it's called Rosetta worsted. That's the line of yarns, but I don't know of any actual colorway name. They don't really name their yarns. And I believe this is the third one I've started of this. So, and I will probably need one more. And I have plenty of it because I think it come in a 8-pack. Because that's how you have to buy yarn from Ice. You have to buy them in packs. So I think that's it. I think that's it for that one. And everybody, and all y'all that watch me, you've seen these. You saw those 2 wraps. You're probably sick of seeing them. They're getting there. All right, what's the next one? Oh, I decided to start a sweater. It's going to be a short sleeve sweater, though. I'm not a sweater knitter, but I wanted to start this. Let me make sure that's what it is in this bag. Yes. So it is living in this bag by Twist Fiber Studios. There we go. And this is the No Need to Panic sweater by Casapinka. And I haven't gotten very far on it. I haven't, I'm still working. I haven't split for the sleeves or anything like that. But here is the progress I have so far. There we go. This is it's advertised as a very easy sweater for like new sweater knitters. Not really a beginning knitter, I guess. But if you're new at knitting sweaters, this is a good sweater to start with. So here we go. So you can see the pattern. And in the pattern, you can do short rows or you can choose not to. I did them so that I could tell the back from the front. So that's the back. And then this is the front. It's all really scrunched up. I'm loving it. I love the color. And this, there are instructions to do short sleeves or long sleeves. I'm going to do the short sleeves, although I will probably do them a little bit longer than the instruction, it calls for. Then it, you know, the pattern calls for. I'll probably just add some length. But there we go. So I am using this yarn here by Miss Babs. It is the Killington, it's Killington yarn, it's DK yarn. And here it is, these are huge balls of yarn. Look at that. So there it is. I've got 3 of these. So it starts out like this. I've obviously used some of this one. I have 3 of these. And like I said, it's a DK. It's Killington is the base, I guess. It's a DK weight yarn. Here's the Miss Babs label. And this colorway is, come on. Oh, I went the wrong way. Patina. And it is 85% Polworth wool, 15% Tussa silk. It is 700 yards, 240 grams, or 640 meters. It's very similar to the Ysolda. It's been a very long time since I've knit with Ysolda. I do have some. So I can't really compare it, but this is like really light. I think it described it as lofty, and I would say yes, that's accurate. It's very similar, but this is a bigger skein than the Ysolda. And it's definitely a DK, whereas the Ysolda could almost be considered a worsted. So I think that's it. And I am using I think a 4mm needle so far. That's the back, and this is the front. If you are new, I am not a sweater knitter. I do not knit sweaters. But if you want to do a sweater, or you want to do this sweater and you've not knit sweaters before, don't be worried about doing the short rows. That is not, you can do that. You can definitely do that. If you're, you know, if you're not, now if you're a new knitter, that's different. But if you're just new to sweater knitting, you can do short rows. I promise you, they're not hard at all. Just follow the directions. They're very good instructions. And I am not a sweater knitter. This will, I didn't do a gauge swatch. This will either fit me or it won't. I'm okay with it. It's really about just do it, the process. It'll fit somebody. I'm making it to fit me, but if it doesn't fit me, it'll fit somebody in my family. So I did not do a gauge swatch. That's bad. Oh well. It's just for the fun of it. If it doesn't fit me, oh well, that's okay. Alrighty. We are getting there. I have 2 more. Yes. Oh, is that right? Yes, because I'm not going to really show you the blankets, but I'll talk about them a little bit. So the next one, oh, I have one more knitting, and this is never going to end. So this is living in the Musselburgh. I'm sorry. I am knitting the Musselburgh, and it is living in this bag. This is another Madder Root bag. And the Musselburgh is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. And I have been knitting on this forever. I forget. It's a lot of knitting making this hat. So here I am, or here it is, and here is my progress. I have about 2 more inches to go before I start decreases. Here we go. I love the patterning in this yarn. I love it. So let's see, the last time I was, let's see, here. Oop. I was here, and so that's how much I've done. It's just a lot of knitting. Every time I finish these, like right about now, I think this is the 3rd or 4th one I've done. And it's basically you just knit this big tube. It starts out here, and you increase, and then you knit your size, and then you decrease, and this will end up the same as this, and then you fold it in on itself, and you have a hat, like a double layered hat. And then if it's long enough, you can fold it over as well. And that's what I'm going for, because I like to fold it over brim. So right about now, when I knit these, I'm like, I'm so done with this. So, but I still have 2 more inches because I want to have it kind of a little bit slouchy and have a nice brim on it. So, and I'm using, a lot of these are knit with fingering weight yarn. This is actually a sport weight yarn. And here's the yarn that I'm using. It's a big skein of yarn. And this is a big twist yarn. The panoramic big twist, and it's in the colorway pink. Like I said, it's a number 2, and it is 656 yards, or 600 meters for 150 grams. So yep, so there's still a ton of this yarn left. And I am using, I think, a 3.75 needle. 3.25 needle. So I'm ready for this to be done. I do love that patterning, and it's really soft. It's just a lot of stockinette. It gets a little boring. So it's getting there. And then I'm never going to knit another one ever again. But I tell myself that all the time. And then I end up knitting another one. Because I think, like I said, this is the 3rd or 4th one. And so I have one last project to show you. It is a crocheted, well, yet to actually show you. It's a crochet project, and like I said earlier, my finished objects, I have been thinking of donating hats. Well, this isn't a hat, but I do want to make a hat to go with it. This is a scarf that I thought of. I thought I'd like to donate some hat and scarves, and it will use up some yarn I desperately need to use up. So that's what this is. This is a scarf. It's living in this bag by Hannah Lou Designs, and you can buy her bags on the Bumblebee Acres website. This is my latest bag that I just bought a couple months ago, maybe. It's supposed to be, she had a Harry Potter update, and yes, this was one of the bags in that update. And the scarf I am crocheting is the Easy Crochet corner to corner hat and scarf. And this is the scarf, but I do want to do the hat. And this is from Crystal at Bag O' Day Crochet. It's on YouTube, a free tutorial on YouTube. So I'm doing the scarf right now, and I intend to do the hat as well, and I think it's just beautiful. I just think it's beautiful. So here is the scarf so far. Here we go. And it's corner to corner. It's addicting. This is addicting. So here we go. So here we go. And so that is the end so far. If I show it this way, a little bit easier. So that's the end. And I've started a new ball of yarn. So I will, and I want to make this long, so I will at least finish this ball of yarn, and maybe I'll put tassels on the end, a fringe on the end. I'm not sure. I do love the look of that. I really, really just don't like doing it, but I think it would look good. We'll see. Look at that. I'm telling you, this corner to corner is addicting. It goes by so quick. So this is the second ball I'm using, and this is the yarn. It is a big twist yarn, and it is the carousel, big twist carousel yarn, and the color is Cloudy Sky. It's a number 4 weight yarn, and it has 170 yards, 156 meters for 100 grams. So, and I have 4 skeins of these, so I'm going to do the rest of this for the scarf, see where I'm at, and then I'm going to knit or crochet the hat, and see. So that'll leave me with 1 skein. Hopefully the hat will only take 1 skein, and then I'll see what I have left, if I want to add more to the scarf or, you know, put the fringe on. So there it is. And the crochet hook I'm using, a 6mm crochet hook. This seems to be the hook I use the most, because I'm a tight crocheter. And it's tulip. I like the tulips the best. So there we go. That's a lot. That was a lot. Oh, and I'm also working on blankets. I have 3 blankets I'm working on. I am alternating them every week, and I'm doing it with my friend on Instagram, Barbara. We are doing, although neither one of us have done any work. She had one of her children, they got married, so she's been busy, and then I've been sick. So I have not done any work on my blanket this week, and the blanket I did last week, I don't think I got much done either. So the 3 blankets I'm doing are the Faith blanket, which is a crochet blanket, and the Anthology Throw. When I'm using my Advent from last year to make that. That is by Helen Stewart. The Faith blanket is by Helen Shrimpton. That's crocheted. Did I say that? And then the Anthology Throw, that's a knitted blanket by Helen Stewart. I'm working on that. And then this week, as the 3rd blanket, I was supposed to be working on the My Coziest Memories blanket by Kemper Ray, which is a free pattern And I mean, I could show you that, since that's the one blanket I didn't show you yet, because I have shown the other 2 blankets. So I was supposed to be working on this week, and I did not get hardly any. I haven't done anything yet, and I don't think I'm going to. Last week was my anthology throw, and I worked on it a little bit, but not too much. But I do want to keep doing this. So here we go. This is it. And I don't remember. There we go. And then here. And my grandson said he wants this blanket, and I said, well, you can have it, but I don't know when. You might be in college. I don't know. So let's see. I did 7. So I did this one. Since last time you've seen it, I did 7, because when it was time for me to do this blanket the last time, I did good. I did a square every day. I don't think I showed you this. I don't think so. I did this square 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is Advent from last year. Advent socks from last year or the year before. Anyway, and then a lot of these are row 1 minis. That's a pair of socks from Bumblebee Acres. This is Felici, I think. Yeah, so there we go. I am weaving in the ends. I have these down here, and when I put squares on top of them, I'll weave those in, but all the others are weaved in. So, and yeah, and I'm using a 2.75 needle for these. So that's all I'm going to show you there. What time is it? Okay, well, I am going to come back. I have to leave to get my granddaughter. But I will come back after that and show you my acquisitions and talk about 2 mystery knit-alongs that I am working on this week. So for me, I will see you probably in a couple of hours, but for you, you'll see me in a couple seconds. So I'm going to say goodbye for right now. Okay, well, I'm back, and it is about 2.5 hours later, and if the lighting seems a little bit different, that's why. But I wanted to share with you my acquisitions, and I have quite a lot to share with you. It is all yarn, and some of the yarn that I purchased it because it was on sale, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. And then some of the yarn I bought with a plan in mind. So let's go ahead and start with the yarn that I bought because it was on sale, and this is some yarn from Knit Picks. A couple weeks ago they had their palette yarn on sale for 30% off, and I really do like the palette yarn. And I bought 2 yarn packs, value packs they call them. So I got like a double deal because when you buy a value pack, it is already a percentage off, and then I got 30% off on top of that. And then I also bought just 1 skein of the sock yarn that replaced the Felici yarn that is no more at Knit Picks. So I thought I would try that out. I just got 1 skein, and I'll start with that first. And here it is. And here is the name. It's very similar to Felici, as you can see, but I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, so there we go. So this is the yarn. Now Felici came in 50-gram skeins, and this comes in 100-gram skein. It is 437 yards, and it's a fingering weight. And the colorway for this is Sunday Day Game. And it is 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. And it doesn't feel as soft as Felici. Felici was very soft. This feels like more like a West Yorkshire Spinners sock yarn, or like the Regia. Maybe the Opal. I've never used Opal, but that's kind of more of what it feels like to me. So we'll see. I do love the colors and the stripes. The Felici stripes were thicker stripes, and this will be thinner stripes. So it'll be interesting to see how it knits up. So I got that, just one skein. And then, like I said, I got some palette value packs. And let me see, I have to go to my computer to see which. So the first palette value pack I got was Antique Purples, and there were 5 colors. 5 colors, and I don't know what order they go in, but it's kind of like it fades. See, I don't think I'll be able to get them all, and I'm not sure if I have this in the correct order. This is, I got this, and I actually got 2 of these. So I have 2 of each color, and I'll tell you the colors. Well, I'll tell you the stats, and it's the same on all of them. It's a fingering weight yarn. It's 231 yards for 50 grams. And it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. And this one is Seraphim, that color. And then this color is Iris Heather. Iris Heather. I might have told you this. It's 50 grams, 231 yards. So I have 100 grams of each color. And then this one here is Comfrey. There. And this one is Lantana. And then the final one in this is Huckleberry Heather. That's really pretty. Huckleberry Heather. So, I do love this yarn. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I do love the yarn. I've used it before, and I really did like it. And then the second value pack I got was Vintage Pinks, and they messed up my order. They gave me the wrong color, but I called them, and they're going to send me the right color. So, this is a 5 pack as well, and I got 2 value packs. So I have 2 of each color. But here are 4 of the colors that are supposed to go together, and I don't really know. It's like a fade, and I don't know if it's in the correct order or not. But here are the 4 that go together. And then on accident, by accident, they sent me this. So it kind of, I don't know. I mean, it does go, but it's not the correct color. So this here, this is Garnet Heather. All the stats are the same. And I did call them, and they're sending me, I think it's the Victorian, the colorway Victorian that they're going to send me. And they said I could just keep this. And that's coming out. It's a darker red than that. Okay, and so then this one here, this is Peony. And this one here, which is very close, is Tea Rose. No, they're different. Tea Rose. And this one is Blossom Heather. That's pretty. And this one is Blush. So I got that. So that is what I got from Knit Picks, and I've done really well not ordering from Knit Picks this year, but I had broke down, I had to. So, and then I also got one other thing. I got, I know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to make socks, but I don't know when. I got a DK sock set from Freckled Whimsy. And this was part of their monthly self-striping club for August 2024. She had some extras, and so I got this. Isn't it pretty? And this is called Sunshine on My Mind. And there are 6 stripe repeats. And it is on the Serendipity DK base, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And it is 245 yards for 100 grams. And then the mini skein is a 20 gram mini. So here we go. So I got that. And now on to yarn that I know I have a plan for. So first I will start with, I went to my LYS, a little, I don't know, probably before I got sick. And my LYS is Eat.Sleep.Knit, and I bought some yarn. I didn't buy that much, but I got some Malabrigo. I'll show you that first. I got 2 skeins, and then I will tell you what I plan to make with it. So the first color is this beautiful blue, and this is on their Arroyo base, which is DK Sport. Look at that, beautiful, it's soft. It is approximately 335 yards or 100 grams. It's 100% superwash merino wool, and the colorway is greenish blue. Greenish blue, and then there is the label. It's beautiful. It's so soft. And so, yes, it's a lot. So 335 yards, that is like a sport, more of a sport weight. Like a DK skein is not usually that much, but it is, yeah, it would be a sport weight is one of those funny weights, isn't it? Because sometimes they're more like a fingering and sometimes they're more like a DK. But I'm going to use this in a pattern that calls for DK weight yarn. And then to go with it, this is another Malabrigo Arroyo yarn, same stats, beautiful. And this colorway is Sandbank. Sandbank, so soft. So these two, these two to go together. And I would like to make the Owl Nouveau Cowl by Mary P. Hunt, and I'll put a picture up of it here. I would like to make that if I can get up the nerve to do some color work. That's what I would like to make with these 2 yarns. So that's my plan. And then the next yarn I got was some Emma's yarn, and this is the Crazy Beautiful Color Hella Hank, and here it is, and it is like a soft pink, and this is a large skein of yarn. This is 600 yards for 150 grams, and the colorway is Himalayan Salt. And this is, oh, so soft. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And I believe it is a 2-ply yarn. That's okay. I do like 4-ply a little bit better, but that's a nice big hank of yarn. And I would like to make the leaflet or the scarflet. I haven't decided on which one, but by Justina Lorkowska from Leets Knits. I'm sorry if I messed all that up. But these are big scarves. They think that they call for like 525 yards. And so I really wanted to get this because so that way, you know, if you get 2 yarns, like 2 separate yarns, they're going to be different in color because all hand-dyed is different. So I didn't want to, I just wanted to get 1 skein so that I haven't got to worry about any color changes or the, the colors looking different between the skeins. So that is what I intend to do with this yarn. Next, I bought some yarn from Leading Men Fiber Arts. They were having a birthday sale and their yarn was 30% off. And what I intend to use this yarn for is a mystery knit along that starts today, and it is called the Wings of Wonder. It is by Lisa K. Ross, also known as Paper Daisy Creations Designs, and I believe it is a wrap. And here is the yarn that I bought. I will get it out of the bag. But the 200-gram hanks are the main colors. And then there are 7 contrasting colors. And you could have gotten a kit from Miss Babs and from other yarn dyers, but I decided to do my own thing. And here's what I got. So when you do that, though, there are a couple of colors I'm not going to be able to use. I had to go in my stash to dig out some other colors, but I'll show you what I got. So here we go. I got 2 of these, and that is coming out a lot lighter than it actually is. Here's the label. This is on their Showstopper base, and the colorway is Don't Fear the Reaper. It is darker than that. It is fingering weight 463 yards, 100 grams, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. So there are 2 of these. And then there are 7 contrasting colors. And this is initially what I got, but then when I got it home and I had a look, I noticed that some of them are not going to work. But here are the 7 colors. And I'll go through. Now, in the pattern, it says that the 7 colors had to be 133 yards. Well, they have these 50-gram hanks on the website, and they are 231 yards, so I have plenty. So I decided to get these instead of getting like 2 minis, because I do have some minis that were around 90 yards. So I got these instead. So this one here, since I'm holding it up, is everything's the same. It's 75/25. It's on the Showstopper, but they're called Intermission because they're just 50. So this colorway is Dusty Rose. This one is called Raspberry Parfait. I'm not sure if I'm saying that. Raspberry something. This one is Oink Oink. And this one is Pop the Cork. And this one is Poseidon. And this one is Imperfection. And this one, the one I definitely can't use, is Man of Mystery, because it is just too close. It's too close, and it really, because this is a lot darker than it's showing, so if you were seeing it like I'm seeing it, it's just too close. So I'm not going to use that. So instead of that blue, I thought of using either, I looked in my scraps, I didn't have anything, but I do have this. And this is a less traveled yarn. So I have that blue. And then I also have this blue by Stunning String Studios. So I'm not really which one I'll use. And then I was also debating, and I don't know, and when I get started on the project, like in a regular episode, I'll show you, but I thought about, instead of having all 3 of these pinks, that I would take out, I'll keep this one, so one of these, I'll take them out, and I'll use this, that's very orange, so that it kind of goes with this a little bit more, or I have this one, we'll see. So, we shall see what I decide, and I will show you that on a regular podcast, and then I'll show you all the order and the yarns are supposed to go in. So yeah, that mystery knit along starts today. I am so bad at keeping up with mystery knit alongs. That's okay. I really love the surprise every week, even if I'm far behind, and going on Ravelry and seeing everybody's progress. I really like it, and I do finish these things. It just takes me a lot longer than most people. And then there is one other, and I didn't buy any yarn for this, but there is one other mystery knit along that I have started. I started it yesterday. Let me look here, because I did not write this down. I don't have anything to show you, really. I don't really want to show you what I have, because it just started yesterday. And so I just have a very little bit, and I just don't want any spoilers, but I am doing the Someone to Write Gnome About by Imagine, is it Imagine Lands? Let's see, what is it called? Imagine Landscapes. So it's a mystery gnome. I've always wanted to knit one of her gnomes. And they did have, you could go to Mustache Yarns. I forget who else. They had, so it's self-striping yarn that is suggested in the pattern. And they had various self-striping yarn dyers come up with kits for this. Mustache Yarn was one. I think, is it Woolens and Nosh was another. Area 51. There was a bunch. But I came up with my own because, like I said, I would like to be a little different, or mine to look a little different. So this is all scraps. And I'm not going to show you the little bit that I have knitted. I've just started it. It's a very little bit. And I haven't even started using this yet. But so this is the striped yarn. I don't know what this yarn is. I've lost the label. But I know it's stripes because I have a pair of socks in this. So I'm going to use this yarn. And then the two other colors I'm going to use are these colors. So this is going to be the colors of my gnome. I thought it was a little fall looking. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, so that is all that I have to share with you. It's quite a lot. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much if you've watched this whole thing. I hope everything is going well with you and you're getting excited for fall. It has finally started to cool down here, which I'm very thankful for. That's it, guys. I can't think of anything else. I'm not sure I'll be able to do a podcast next week or a video next week. I mean, they're not really podcasts, are they? They're just videos. But I'm not sure that I'll be able to do one next week. So they may not be every week for a little while here. Things are pretty busy. I have a lot of things on my plate right now, but I will try to at least do them every other week. So until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And until then, bye for now.